Hi everybody, welcome to Heroes Out. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Paul.
And this time round we're doing TV cars. We're going to give you the top 10 best TV cars ever. Not animated and not movie cars, TV cars. You should join us because we release videos every
Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. GMT time.
Oh, look at Mr. Professional over here. Last time he got the order wrong. Thursday, Tuesday. No, anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about. No. We did this in one take.
Yeah, this is definitely not take 17. So, in at number 10. In at number 10 is the Grand Torino. Not the one that Clint Eastwood. Remember, no movies here. This is the big striped tomato. This is from Starsky and Hutch. Big red car, big white stripe. And Starsky and Hutch, it was Starsky's car, I think. And the guy, the character, Starsky, loved that car. Here's a funny little real world note. The actor who played him hated the car. First time he ever saw the car, he's like, that's ugly and I hate it. And he straight up, he called it looks like a striped tomato. And then they made that an in-gag in the show where his partner Hutch was like, well, your car's like, it's a piece of crap. It's a big striped tomato, for God's sakes. So nice little inside joke on their part.
I was introduced to this car by the Ben Stiller version of Starsky and Hutch. So when we had a look at it, I was just like, oh yeah, the Ben Stiller. And Patrick might have gotten a little angry at me for not knowing the TV show.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. I just, again, remake all the TV shows you want into films. I'm fine. Just maybe start doing it slightly better. Sorry, there was something floating across camera there.
He's going insane.
Oh, also, car nerd, so might be extra excited for this episode. And I'd just like to say thank you, Paul. Anyway,
I sign off on all the TV shows or all our videos, so you can blame me for the bad ones and you can blame me for the good ones, but right now we're doing the car one.
Yeah, it's always a joint decision, but I think Paul is being kind and indulging me. And with that, I think we should jump right into number 10. The reason it's so low, people who love that Starsky and Hutch car, in real life, Gran Torino's not that great a car. They made it look fancier by jacking the back up and putting big kind of drag radials on it, but it's not your classic. It also isn't even the typical. When you think of TV car, you don't necessarily think of it because there's stuff around the top of this list that definitely you think of first. The next one maybe wouldn't be one of those though. In at number 9, you've got the Reliant Regal van from Only Fools and Horses. Del Boy's little yellow Trotters Independent Traders van.
All I remember is it looks like such a weird car.
It's very weird. Well, it's got 3 wheels.
So yeah. Which is never a good thing.
Well, it's not the conventional way to build a car.
No.
And it could actually be driven on a motorcycle license because it wasn't 4-wheeled. That was one of the reasons 3-wheelers were a thing. There's all sorts of reasons why 3-wheelers are a whole separate culture and cult. The reason I put it on the list here at number 9, and Paul went with me on this, is it should be here because it's the best example of this whole list of a car that is perfect for the character. Del Boy is a chancer. And what says chancer more than a 3-wheeled yellow van showing up? Like, that's your professional Trotters Independent Traders vehicle. It's a 3-wheeled van. A little bit of car trivia. Everybody always calls them Robin Reliants. Number 1, it would actually be a Reliant Robin because it's a Reliant whatever. It's like saying a Mustang Ford. But also, this is the Reliant Regal super van. That company had the neck on them to call this thing the super van. It's a 3-wheeled wardrobe with about as much space in the back as most carry-on luggage. It's kind of funny.
It looks like a fucking weird car.
Yeah, perfect for comedy though, and perfect for a chancer. So I want to move on really, really quickly because I'm indulging this too much. And I'm going to go on to number 8, which, and you'll be happy to hear, this one's from this century, and that is Breaking Bad, Walter White, and the Pontiac Aztek. Anybody out there who doesn't know what a Pontiac Aztek is, look at the screen now. Now you do. Famously ugly car. And for all the other car nerds out there, you'll already know this. It tops the list of ugliest cars of all time. Or it is at the bottom of the list for most beautiful cars of all time.
Yeah, like I thought the Reliant
is an uglier machine.
Was an ugly car, but then I saw that thing and I was just like, well, that was made in modern times when like people had eyes.
And computers, like it was designed on purpose. This wasn't made because they had that metal. This was not an accident. They went out and were like, that's what we want it to look like.
It looks like such a plastic piece of crap.
And it looks like 2 or 3 cars ran into each other and made it.
That is very weird. It looks like the top part isn't structurally sound enough, so it leans back while you drive, because it's got that weird, like...
Yeah, it's got a Hofmeister kink that's gone all wrong.
It's such a weird thing.
The reason it's on this list is because, as all the other car nerds out there will know, these things are actually starting to go up in value because people are starting to realise they've got a kitsch coolness. They're actually also... The Pontiac Aztek was way ahead of its time. It was before the SUV and the soft roader and the CUV boom came along. They actually started before that wave happened. They just happened to make it so ugly that it couldn't take off. So it just goes to show you can have a brilliant idea, but if you can't market it because the thing is ugly as sin, you're not going to make it. But it's perfect for the character of Walter White. No ego, so he could have it. He was a teacher, no money. It just sends the message that he was exactly what he was there. But because he was so smart, it was such a practical thing. He bought something that was ahead of its time. So there you go. That was number 8. What's number 7, Paul?
It is. See, this one's my one, because it is the supernatural Chevrolet Impala from 1967.
And it is gorgeous.
It is a fantastic looking car. Sounds like a fucking beast. And it is owned by Dean Winchester, one of the brothers of the main character. So Dean,
it's a cool name,
and Sam Winchester. Yeah, no, it's a very cool car because it's like it's very unusual and but like very kind of old stylish of that character and stuff, because he loves A-tracks and stuff.
Nice.
So but it's also like it's been in the show for a considerable amount of time, actually from the beginning, but it's got like, now a character kind of esque thing to it, with like its nook and crannies of devil traps and secret compartments for weapons and stuff like that, and then which goes the sounds of the engine, and also when they open the trunk and open the car doors have now become like synonymous with that character. And
it's a real part of the show then, because it's a real character. I haven't watched Supernatural as a series, but I knew this car when you mentioned it. Every car nerd must know every cool car that's in the show, even if they haven't watched it. So I have seen bits of the show, the bits with the car in it, which I should be embarrassed about. But it is achingly gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a really nice looking car.
And I'm glad to hear the sound is as good as it should be, because it's big block V8 that should rumble and scream. That's pretty much demons from hell.
Yeah,
put into cast iron and then just loud sing beautifully. That's the way I feel about a big V8.
Yeah, very much sounds like that.
Yum. So that was a great call. And I think the only sensible place to move on from a muscle car is to another muscle car of the same era. And that is in at number 6. We have the Dodge Charger from the Dukes of Hazzard.
The Duke.
Yeah, known as the General now and again.
General. Sorry, apologies.
It's got some issues because of that and the flag that's on its roof.
Oh, you mean the big Confederate flag on the top of it? Because the Confederates are famously not great people.
Yeah, I don't think we really want to wade into that one. Let's just talk about the car underneath the paintwork, or at least the paintwork from the roof down, which was still really, really nice.
Didn't Johnny Knoxville and the guy who did from American
Sean
Pie.
William Scott?
Yeah, didn't they do a remake of that for the movie?
This is another, and they left it on the roof. They stuck with it, and they called it out in a joke. They tried to deal with it head on, which I respected, and I think this is really not something that I want to end up going viral over. But I think they at least mentioned it,
Okay.
I think it was good that they didn't try and ignore it or didn't try and wipe it out. Because
that's good. But it's the only car in this list that seems to defy gravity.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because here's your little bit of trivia for that particular car, other than the fact that these guys, it was based on the idea of a moonshine car. It's an outrun the cops, jumping over ravines and rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Welded shut doors. Because that was the stock car way at the time, and the Charger was a very, very popular stock car. So you have to climb in the window.
Yeah.
How cool is climbing in the window?
It's cool for the first time, and then very impractical for the rest.
I will tell you exactly how cool it is. It is as cool as watching someone else do it, and never trying to do it yourself in front of other people. Because if you've had time to practice at home, I'm sure it's fine. But I once tried to get into a car kind of like that with a cage, and I made an absolute ass of myself, and it looked like somebody trying to fold a banana into a letterbox. It was weird. It went very, very wrong. But here's my bit of trivia. Welded up doors and all, they used somewhere north of 300 Dodge Chargers during the run of that show, and only 17 remain.
Is it because the amount of jumps that they did, they just fucked them up?
They were firing these things up into the air. They were just shooting them into the air for those scenes. So yeah, beautiful car used up by that film or that TV show. But you got to admit that the idea of drifting down a little country road in that beautiful car, you're like, yeah, that's awesome. Shame they had to ruin so many of them, but they did do some good on camera stuff. The jumps were getting a little ridiculous towards the end, I think.
Well, I think it's also really ridiculous that you have a narrator every couple of minutes going, "Oh, how are they going to get out of this one?" And you're just like, "We've seen the show.
Yeah,
they jump over. Do you know how they've jumped? They're going to land and they're just going to drive off.
They've done it before. Well, it's that like an old Bo and Luke are in trouble. I want that guy to have a Twitter account because I want that to be on a Twitter feed somewhere. Just him randomly kind of going, well, it looks like old Here's that are in trouble again. I shouldn't do the accent. Did I destroy that?
No, you're fine. We'll just gloss over it.
Yeah, okay. That now I'm starting to feel like I'm running on the edge of something. In at 5. This is one that everybody knows. It is the ATeam van, essentially. Yes. It's like a GMC Vandura or G Series or whatever they were called. But it's BA's pride and joy. It's all souped up. It is Pimp My Ride before Pimp My Ride existed.
It's got that red fin. I don't know why I said blue. The red fin on the back, which got red stripe up it. The bigger tires on the back.
Yeah, it had the whole raked look, big tires in the back, the red mag racing wheels. It had a big metal bull bar with all of the lights that it would never need. The spoiler on a van thing, I still find funny because when I was a kid, that was so cool. And on any other van, I would have been like, what the hell? But it was that van, and that paint scheme really, really worked. A little bit of trivia about that one. Again, a lot of people right now, try and imagine that van in your head. Actually, we've probably shown it on screen. If you were to describe it, you would have said it's a black van with a red stripe.
Is it a red van with a black stripe?
No, it's actually a black van with a red stripe, and the top part above the red is a grey silver. And the reason that a lot of people remember it backwards is because toys. A load of toys were made that were just black with a painted red stripe, and they didn't do the silver part.
Ah.
So now when people go back and watch the ATeam, they're like, oh, this must have been when they changed the van. It's like, no, the toy you had was painted wrong because it was cheaper. That's how the memory works, I guess.
Wow.
So there you go, ATeam van in at 5. Honourable mention to Face, the very handsome member of the ATeam that had to be called Face because he's so handsome, who had a matching Corvette C4 with a red stripe along it. It was a white car. And that's just like, these guys are criminals undercover. Whatever about the guy in the van, if you're driving around in a white Corvette with a red stripe and that's you're like, well, we're on the run from the federal authorities.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. You're not even trying to hide anymore, are you?
Also, incredibly weirdly bulletproof.
Everything was in the ATeam. Talking about, always jumping stuff in Dukes of Hazzard, the ATeam, flip it over and then bring the camera back to make sure you see people climbing out.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. The van, if you watch the opening of the old ATeam, which is there's a
Willis Jeep,
that flips over, and they specifically show you the two guys getting out because the ATeam have never killed anyone. They probably may have killed like one person or something like that, but they've always captured them or something like that.
It must have been really bad. Yeah, the great thing about that is that's why it was on TV as a kid on a Saturday, early enough. Nobody dies in this. You can watch it. You can see them riddle half the world with bullets and shiny guns.
Yeah.
Violence is okay. Death is a problem, though. Kids, you'll never have to deal with death, but get used to violence. That message should have been the other way around.
Also remember, if you have a barn with a tractor and a bit of PVC piping, you can build a tank.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see a show where the ATeam went into one side of a barn and MacGyver was in there trying to break out of the other side, and then they end up getting in a fight in the middle because they both want the stick of gum and the paper clip. Yeah. BA would win that fight, I assume. Okay, in at 4. Do you want to do this one?
No, you can do that one.
Okay. This is the Magnum Ferrari. Everybody knows it as the Ferrari from Magnum or the Magnum Ferrari. Car nerds are like, well, that is actually a Ferrari 308 GTS. It's not the GTB because the roof targa top comes out. That's how you know it's a GTS, because GTB would be full metal roof. And it's not a GT4 because that's... See, I could do this all day. Essentially, it's a cool red Ferrari. But it is what people think of when they think Ferrari.
Yeah.
In fairness, like, that's one of the great things about... That's what makes this particular car iconic. It's cool in the show because it's not even Magnum's car. It's like Robin Masters, the person who owns the estate.
Okay.
And, you know, Magnum's using all Robin's stuff. So it's real Tom Selleck-y. You know, it's like, I'm so cool that I don't even have to buy the Ferrari I drive.
Yeah.
But it defined Ferrari for generations. And it is a gorgeous car, and it does a cool little power slide out of, or a power takeoff out of some grass in the opening credits. And that was before drifting was a thing. I was like, that's cool. What I would say about that car is, I would say never meet your heroes, because everybody, I think, who's ever owned one has said that they're a nightmare to own. And if I could fit in one, because I'm not super tall, Tom Selleck is like 6'4", I think. They had to cut out like parts of the seats and stuff to fit him into the car. If you watch Magnum, his head is quite often, you know, at the same height as the thing. Yeah. So Ferrari, it had to make the top three, or top four, into the top three spots, and I better hurry along. Top three. Paul knows that I like cars, but Paul also knows that I have a secret, and that secret is I want a truck. I want a pickup truck. I've always wanted a pickup truck since I was a kid. My favorite toys were like Lamborghinis, Formula 1 cars, and then pickup trucks that drove over the Lamborghinis. There is something so inner child about a pickup truck, I think, for a lot of people.
I say so, because even I want one.
Yeah, like, I'll get you one. Just, you know, let me have one too. I think the whole world should have trucks, because I'm worried by the time I get one, they're going to be outlawed.
Well, you just heard it here. He's buying me a truck.
I'm buying a truck. And if I could buy any truck, this is the truck I'd buy. In at number 3, the Fall Guy truck. I'm just going to call it the Fall Guy truck because it is a, what was it? It was a K250, you know, Grand Sierra or whatever. It's an incredible truck because it is so... The Fall Guy was a show about a stuntman. It's jacked up. It's what people would call a brodozer today, I think. It would be obnoxious now, but back then it was just 80s stuntman, brown, gold on brown paint. Like, what a great paint combination with a big medallion-y logo on the hood. Like, it's everything that shouldn't work, but as you can see from the picture and the little bit of video of it jumping over a Porsche right now, it's awesome. I want one. It was such a character in the show because I think even the first episode of the show, I think they start with him like getting his truck from the impound or something. It was part of the story quite often.
Yeah.
So that's number 3. In it too, I'm trying to throw to you for stuff.
Yeah, you're just like I'm. As I said, I'm not very up on the car kind of stuff. This is from the era of, like, you know, when cars were characters and stuff like that. So I know like a few of them.
This is from the old man era.
I don't know, Patrick. Like, these are for like golden age things, like Magnum PI and Dukes of Hazzard, and, you know, the 2 other ones that we're going to be talking about now are, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, Supernatural was just my...
I'm starting to feel old just because I watched them first time round, and everybody else is like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that as a kid on reruns. I'm like, shit. Okay, well, this one everybody remembers, and it's before all our time. In at number 2 had to be, it was always going to be one of the top 2. It's the Batmobile from the Adam West Batman TV show. Nice. Iconic.
Yeah, no, very much so. Like, it looks like it looks like the car that Homer Simpson designs when he's just like, oh, this is every man's dream car, and it's just like, you're just designing the Batmobile from like, you know, the old Batman, Adam West Batman. It is a fantastic jet engine propulsion.
That's it. Yeah, the big old fiery turbo type idea in the back. It lived in the Batcave, and it was painted just, you know, that paint scheme was perfect with the red outlines around some of the features. A little bit of car nerd on this one is very, very easy. A guy called George Barris, who had involvement in the Starsky and Hutch car, and I think also one of the versions of some of the other stuff on this list. he has a bit of controversy because he claims he's done just about everything. So almost all TV cars, they're like, oh, he's like, yeah, I was involved in that. And then people go out going, he wasn't at all.
Okay.
So interesting character. But this one he definitely was, because he bought this car. It was a Lincoln Futura concept car. He bought it, and then he got the contract to make the Batmobile, and he made it from this car that he had sitting out the back. It was a brand new concept car in 1955. The show didn't come out till 1966. That car was so futuristic that 11 years later, it could be used as Batman's car.
Yeah.
Like, fair play. You know, when you've designed a car that can be a concept car, and 11 years later, people are like, wow, that looks like it's from the future. And people today look at it going, wow, that looks like it's from the future. It has to be one of the most out there, timeless, cool cars ever.
That looks very cool.
Yeah, and it
It even had a bat siren.
it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And don't get me wrong, Tumbler and all the Batmobiles that came after it are great too. But realistically, there's only one Batmobile.
There's
controversial.
plenty of Batmobiles. This is just one of the, nicer looking ones.
Are you saving me internet rage? Or are you... Oh, you think the Keaton Batmobile is better? Because I could go with that argument, just as long as it's not the Tumbler.
No, the animated series Batmobile.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, but there you go. Animated series.
It's a fucking, it's the longest car I've ever seen that isn't a stretch limo.
It's Gothic Art Deco sideways with wheels as well. It's awesome. The animated series, on screen animated series Batmobile is awesome. But anyway, so in at number 2 was the Lincoln Futura Batmobile from the original Batman series, Adam West. So that leaves us with only one spot left. In at number 1, you have got, sing it with me. It's an impossible song to sing. Knight Rider, or KITT, which stood for Knight Industries 2000. KITT.
KITT.
Yeah, and he was actually the second car, because there was one called KARR, which was the Knight Industries, I think it was like roving robot or something, and he's the evil twin.
Oh my
God. They did an evil twin episode.
Of a car.
Talking car. Not just a car, a talking car. A car that could do you know what? Whatever about MacGyver with a bit of chewing gum and a thing, or the ATeam in a shed. Tell me you didn't know when Knight Rider, when that car got into a situation, and there's David Hasselhoff doing his best Baywatch, KITT, get me out of here. It was always something. It's like, the car definitely has it. I need a straw to, drink my Coke.
Yeah. It was like a Swiss Army knife of random gear.
And what makes it the greatest car in TV history? It was a character in the show. It was a big Swiss Army knife. It looked cool. Turbo boost. It invented the idea of turbo boost being able to make you jump. But it was sarcastic. That is the pièce de résistance for me. Everybody's like, why would you want that? It's gorgeous. Yeah, talking car. Sure, what's great about it? A wise-ass, sarcastic talking car. That's who I want to hang out with.
I just like the fact that it had a Cylon front. That's it.
Yeah.
Because then you can go, maybe the Knight Industries actually built the Cylons, and then you can group those two universes together.
You can. Because they're both Glenn A. Larson shows, and that's why it had that. So that was their little nod to his success with Battlestar. And I can only assume David Hasselhoff is somewhere right now making a Knight Rider talking into his watch joke. Except
probably
in the days of Apple Watches and smartwatches, that's not as funny anymore.
Yeah, it's
just
true.
not as funny anymore.
So there's 2 other pieces of trivia that we both enjoy.
Yes.
Which is that this had a remake with a...
there was a Dodge Stealth was used, and then there was another remake where they used a Ford Mustang, the new Mustang.
Yeah, but then they had the other one, the Team
Knight Rider. Yeah, they tried to do that. That was a bad show where they gave they got a bunch of young people who were, it's now Team, and they gave them all cars to match their personality. Like one guy had a truck because he was the muscle person.
And did they talk to him and it was just like, you should do less steroids.
Team Knight Rider sucked enough that I didn't watch it, so I don't know if all the cars talked to all the people. I think they may have. It just felt like cashing in on my childhood, and I wasn't old enough yet to let them. Whereas now, you can make anything and cash in on my childhood, and I'll go and see it. So
when was Team Knight Rider?
Oh, I think it was late 90s, early 2000s, probably.
Oh, because I'm getting flashbacks of maybe knowing it now. Because you said it in the car, and I was just like, oh, I've never seen that. And now I'm getting this flashback.
I don't think it made more than like 4 episodes. I think it was one of those, this is a great idea. Oh my God, no, it's not, sort of thing.
I'm going to have to look it up. And then if I look it up, I'm going to have to watch it.
Okay, well, I think you should. I think we should actually dig it out and watch it, just so we can talk about it for hours and hours, and you'd let me do all the car videos on our not car channel. So I want to wrap this one round saying thanks again to Paul for letting me dive into this. This video was supposed to be like 6 minutes long. You can probably see that it wasn't. I hope you enjoy it. Really, this is one where all of you can get involved. Everybody has an opinion on what the best TV car is.
Yeah, very much so.
Particularly if it's not on this list, let us know.
Yeah, no, if there's a car that we've forgotten, once again, it has to be a TV car, not a movie car. We'll probably do a different list of that.
And not animated either, because there'll be loads of those on this list.
Well, I already suggest the Wacky Races like cars, which is just a whole bunch
grid.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Oh God, I just thought of like 3 or 4 more cars. There's a Lotus Elan and thing. Oh, what about the professionals?
Just press the button.
Oh. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, if I talked over Paul the entire time, it's because he was like, just go enjoy yourself. This has been very kind of him.
No, it's a very good topic, because these cars are actual characters in these TV shows. They're like used by the main character. They usually have like at least 1 or 2 episodes that's specifically based on them. Like the Supernatural one has when it gets damaged, it's literally rebuilt. The entire episode is like Dean rebuilding it. And I'm sure that there's always, like in those TV shows that we've done, a specific episode on the car rather than like it's just been in the background.
And you just made me think of something. I'm not stretching this episode any further, but off camera we're about to talk about who on this list had the best name, because there's Michael Knight with Knight Rider, there's Dean Winchester with the Chevy Impala, like even Del Boy Trotter is quite a good bloody name.
Yeah, that's very true.
It seems to be the way to have a cool car on your show is to have a really cool name for your main character. And on that note, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the little bell. Keep driving, drive safe. I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
And we'll see you next time.